Okay, to get started, I will be using a heaping cup of all-purpose flour. Basically, I just scooped up a cup of flour and it came out to 6 ounces. I'm also using 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Next, I will be using 1 cup of sugar. I'm also going to be using 8 tablespoons of butter. Here, I just softened the butter. You could also melt this. I'm also using 2 large eggs that I've brought to room temperature. Next, I will be using 8 ounces of strawberry puree. Basically, I took 8 ounces of strawberries, cleaned the tops off, and popped them into a blender. I chopped them up, and I'm going to be adding a 1/3 cup of water just to help puree everything. And after I pureed it, I ran it through a wire mesh sieve to get out any seeds. And this is what I'm left with, 8 ounces of puree. Next, I am also going to be using 2 teaspoons of strawberry extract. You can add more or less if you like. I think 2 teaspoons works well in this batter. I'm also adding 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay, next I am going to combine the sugar, butter, and all the wet ingredients and mix them well with a whisk. You can definitely use an electric hand mixer, but I packed mine away and I don't remember the box that I packed it in, so I'm going old school. I'm just gonna whisk it out. You could also use a fork if you don't have a whisk. Sometimes I do that too. So again, I'm just going to combine all of these ingredients well. So while I do that, I just want to say that when I was coming up with the strawberry cake recipe, I was actually trying to come up with a strawberry blondie recipe, which is like a brownie, but not with chocolate, with strawberry. And it didn't work out, but it made for a really moist, rich strawberry cake. So yay, that was a happy accident. So this is what I'm sharing with you today. At least my family likes it. Okay, so my wet ingredients are combined well. Now that I'm done with this, I'm going to set this to the side and start working on my dry ingredients, which is fairly easy. Nothing hard about that. I'm just going to combine the salt and baking powder with the all-purpose flour and whisk that together until it is combined and mixed well. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is combine my dry and wet ingredients together. I'm sort of going to do it in parts. I mean, not really exactly in 3 parts, but just kind of shake it in there, mix, shake, mix until it's all combined. And again, you can definitely do this with an electric hand mixer. I just don't know where mine is at today. Okay, before I forget, I'm actually going to add 1 drop of a gel red food coloring. This will just give it that strawberry pink that everyone looks for in a strawberry cake. Honestly, if it weren't for thumbnail purposes, I probably would not even add the red food coloring because you don't need it. I mean, unless you're really trying to show like a pink cake or like for a birthday party. But again, I just wanted to add a tinge of red to make it more pink. Okay, so now that my cake batter is mixed and combined well, I am now going to transfer this to a lined cake pan. I am using an 8 by 8 square cake pan, but you can definitely use an 8 or 9 inch round cake pan. This makes 1 layer of cake. So if you're making like a birthday cake and you want a double layer, be sure to double the recipe. So I have used parchment paper, but you can definitely butter and flour your cake pan so that it comes out faster, but I'm going just with parchment paper today. I am going to be baking this in a preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 35 to 38 minutes or until a toothpick comes out clean. Now, if you are using a 9-inch round cake pan, the cook time may vary slightly, so just make sure to check it. Okay, so my cake is done. I removed it from the cake pan. It came out very easily, and I have it on a cooling rack. But I do want to show you, if you are going to use parchment paper and you're using this for like a birthday cake, just know that sometimes the crinkle in the parchment paper will indent the cake. I'm just having this for family dessert tonight, so no biggie. It'll be covered with a whipped cream frosting, but just be mindful if you're using this for a party or something. I am going to allow my cake to completely cool. That might take like 30 minutes sitting on this cooling rack, but in the meantime, I'm going to start working on my frosting. Okay, so I'm going to start on my whipped cream frosting. Here I have 2 teaspoons of strawberry jello mix, and I'm adding it to 2 tablespoons of boiling hot water. If you notice when you do this that the granules of powder mix does not dissolve right away, pop it into the microwave for around 10 seconds and dissolve the strawberry jello mix. Then I'm going to let this set on the counter and come to room temperature. Once it comes to room temperature, I am going to place it in the refrigerator just for a minute, not longer than a couple of minutes. I just want to get it a little chilled before I add it to my cold heavy cream. That'll help whip up my frosting. But if you do it longer than a couple of minutes, it'll turn to jello and it won't mix. So this is perfect. It's still in liquid form and I managed to give it a little bit of a chill. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is take a chilled glass bowl and I'm going to add heavy whipping cream. I started with 2/3 of a cup, but I'm ultimately going to use a full cup or 8 ounces of heavy whipping cream. And again, like I mentioned earlier, I do not have my electric hand mixer, so it's my good old-fashioned whisk and some elbow grease. It's going to get this whipped cream frosting going. So I'm going to start whisking this until soft peaks form, and then I'm going to add other ingredients. Okay, so I'm at that stage where it's right around the soft peak stage. So I am going to start adding my jello mixture. I should have just poured this whole thing in here, but I was trying to be careful. I didn't want to deflate anything. So I'm adding like a tablespoon at a time and gonna whisk it. And basically, I ultimately will add all these ingredients. I'm also adding some powdered sugar. I will leave the complete recipe of what I added into this frosting in the description below, but ultimately 8 ounces of heavy cream, the jello mixture, the whole little bowl of jello mixture that I made, and I also added 4 tablespoons of powdered sugar. Basically what's happening here is I'm making whipped cream, but with the addition of the strawberry jello and the addition of the powdered sugar, those are going to help stabilize the whipped cream. So when I put it on my cake, it'll last for several hours and it won't deflate as quickly. So that's the name of the game. And this is a cake that you want to keep chilled until you're ready to serve. Okay, so I have whisked my heart out and my whipped frosting is at stiff peak stage. So it is ready for the cake. My cake is completely cooled, so I am going to start frosting this cake. You can definitely use a strawberry buttercream for this cake, but I just wanted something a little bit lighter in texture. And I really do love making strawberry cake with a light frosting, but it is completely up to you. Okay, so my cake is frosted and ready. I have already cut into this cake and served several slices, but I wanted to show you the look of the crumb. I know a lot of people want to know the type of crumb this cake is, and I am no professional baker by any means, but the best way I can describe this is that the cake is very moist and rich and definitely tastes like strawberry. So if you are a strawberry lover, you will probably like this cake. I hope you guys give this recipe a try. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.